You know, that might be coming in the US, but not for quite a while. Okay, well, I let him play the Nimzo Indian and he didn't go for it. So this is some kind of queen's pawn opening. I could turn this into a Catalan, I guess. That usually confuses them. Let's keep this one defended. Okay, now I can castle. Let's take with the pawn. I like it. A push here hits the knight and the queen. A push here hits the knight and the queen. Ban all cars by 2035. It'll be 2100 in the US. It'll be a long time. There's some resistance to that here. Okay, so he gave up. Yeah, that was just not good. If we look at this in the analysis board, so it's even here. He should take with a pawn. Went with the knight. I defended. This is good for white. He takes. This is also good for white. Taking with the pawn is correct. And then, yeah, he should move his knight. He went with the queen, and yeah, now he loses a piece. There's no way out of it. This is a pretty good try, but yeah, I pin the knight. If he moves the queen is under attack, and so is the knight. It's a double attack. If he moves the queen, I take the knight. If he doesn't move the queen, I take it. And he can't move the knight and attack my queen anymore. So that's all she wrote. So in this position, to stay in the game, what? Here. Here. Ah, and the pawn supports the knight. But this is still good for white, it says. Anyway, interesting game. Let's get another one. Yeah, mining all those batteries is doing damage to the environment also. All the minerals they need for the batteries. Yeah, lots of problems in the world. Okay, we're going to go e4, e5. We're going to be brave. What is he going to play? He's going to play a traditional. What was that? That was a Scotch. He could play the Scotch Gambit, develop the bishop. That would be the Scotch Gambit. Developing the pawn is something else. The Danish Gambit, that's it. So I generally decline the Danish Gambit. It's too much trouble. White gets a pretty fierce attack. Okay, what's this then? Pin the knight. Pin and counter pin. Well, let's get this out here. I just want to be able to develop here, maybe put a little more pressure on this pawn. And then get castled. This probably turned out pretty well for white, being able to take back here. But I can put some pressure on this pawn later. This is not defended, okay. Well, it is defended. Let's go ahead and get castled. So my knight can move, decide, let this bishop decide if it wants to take, yeah, and then I won't have to retreat my bishop because this will be well defended. And I get an open file for my rook. This is looking better. Okay, we just blockade. And rook to the b file and pawn to c5, I think, is the way to approach this. I've got two pawns that can go to c5. I put this one there, I exchange, and then I can put this one up there after getting the pieces out of the way. And the bishop's on a good diagonal. My knight. The knight is in an awkward spot. I have to watch carefully. Okay, he's going to force me to change the order here. I will do this first then, since he was attacking that pawn. Okay, so maybe step back here. I will lift my queen up next. He wants to take here. Didn't see any particular good way to defend it, so I'm pushing it instead. Although maybe he can just take. Well, I'll trade if he takes. Yeah, he can't take. And I have bishop. Bishop to d5 here is looking interesting. To get the queen out of my camp here. If his knight moves. I'm not really threatening to take his knight because of the pin. So maybe that's what he is counting on. Yep, it's a problem, all right. So if I block this way, I lose the bishop. Yeah, looks like I lose this pawn. If everything goes as he intends, yeah, trades and then takes here. So the question is, do I have anything good here? I can take this pawn. Defends the bishop. And then I can kick this bishop. So he went through a lot of work, but he did not manage to keep a pawn. Let's kick that bishop. Yeah, he thinks he's going to take this knight and leave my bishop undefended. I could take here first. Go here. He might just take the knight. I'd have two bishops against two knights and a... Although it's interesting, this rook and this bishop are coordinating on this square. There, you can take the knight if you really want it. And next I'm going to bring a rook to the center here. Maybe get my knight to this square, also attacking. He's taking that pawn. Okay, so what I'm going to do is attack these pawns. Attack and counterattack, taking advantage of the long-range power of the bishops. Oh, he just trades. He trades. Can't check. So if I take here and he takes the rook, that's just not that good. Can't really retreat. Oh, yeah, I get a knight. Okay, I thought too hard about that one. Definitely thought too hard about that. Okay. I should be able to win this endgame. Just trade off that knight. There's enough pawns here that I should be able to win. Just have to watch out for the wrong colored rook pawn. So this is the queening square I want. Let's just take it. And walk forward with the king. Just stop all those pawns in their tracks. Now this is hanging and my king is threatening to come here, so he's in a bit of trouble. But let's see, if I take here right away, yeah, this is stuck, so I can take my time. I just didn't want him getting to this square. Then I can grab the pawn. Now his king is restricted to this part of the board. He's having fun checking me, but is this really helping his cause? The same problem is he resigned. Okay. Yeah, just oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go back and go to the analysis board. Ilyes is back and he's raiding. Thank you, Ilyes. Thank you for the raid. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Ikelo. And Peter Balkus. Cool. Yeah, so after I grabbed this pawn here, it's pretty much all over. I could have, let's see, so I went here. He moved here. I could have taken the pawn here. But I didn't want him stepping up here and grabbing this pawn. So, but you recognize that this pawn isn't going anywhere and his king isn't close enough to save it. So you just move your king back here to keep his king out of this square. And then he doesn't have any good move. Moved his king back and then I can grab the pawn. And then it's a win from here. He did all of these, he moved all his pawns forward. But let's see, this is just barely within the square of the pawn his king is, but he has to move his king at this point. Yeah, he's got to move his king to stay in the square of the pawn. If he lets it go one more, then I'll just run all the way. So if he steps back into the square of the pawn, I can draw his king further away, or I could just take here and then win with this pawn. Thank you, Ilyes. Yes, good to see you again. Okay, let's play another game. Okay, we'll try the knight approach to the d pawn. Oh, and we get a classical queen's pawn opening. We can go for the Nimzo Indian, and he allows the Nimzo Indian. Cool. So we have the classical Nimzo Indian with the queen here. And yeah, just go ahead and castle. I like to play knight to c6. If he pushes, this is still pinned, so I can just take it. So knight c6 right away is valid. Yeah, now I'll take the knight. Keep control of that. Now if he pushes, I can take, he takes, I take. Yeah, it's still in control. But I have to start loosening up the center here for my bishop. Not loosening exactly. So here, yeah, set up a battery against my h7 pawn, but my h pawn. But he's I've got the knight defending it. Ever played the Polish defense against d4? I never have. I can look it up maybe. I don't even know what it is. Yeah, let's put a little more pressure here. I'm threatening to push this pawn. So he blocks, finally. It's kind of what we were waiting for. Now his battery is of no use. And I can bring this knight around to attack on the king side. Knight here. So he wants to get rid of his bishop. Is that the plan? Because if his bishop goes back, I'll just take it. If he goes back this way. Yeah, so it goes back there. And I could put the knight here, although he could take it. This is where you use the both knights. d4 to b5. Oh, b5 is an answer to d4. Like the opening with white, but different. Okay, so he took a pawn here. Looks like I should have defended that. But anyway, I get my knight up. I'm in no rush to take back. If he takes, I'll take back there here. I just lost a pawn, and if I take back, he takes with the bishop, just gets his bishop to a better square. But it's not so bad being down a pawn in this structure, because he's got those doubled pawns everywhere, and this is hanging now. So he defends it. I will step away from the discovered attack on my queen. Maybe bring a bishop out to attack this pawn. I'll blockade here first. One of the things I could do is bring my queen over here, and then sacrifice here and win this knight. So knight takes, the bishop here is defending it, so the king can't take back. Okay, we'll take here first. He's undoubling his pawns, but he doesn't take back with tempo, so I can still do this. This is still undefended if he takes back with the pawn. That's interesting. So if I'm blocked with the bishop, he could give up the exchange, I guess. And then take my knight. I do have a queen check here, but he can block with a pawn. So let's go like this. Maybe rook here, then hitting his bishop. I kept this pawn defended. Puts a little pressure on this pawn. How are my other pawns doing there? They're okay. So it's 4-3 and 1-2. So we're even. Materially even. I just need to figure out how to maneuver my queen over here. Maybe knight here. Yeah, it looks like there's a fork here, but I didn't see a way for him to really take advantage of that. It's like every way he plays it, I can get out of it somehow. Like if he pushes this pawn here, I can take here with check. And he takes back, I can take here. In fact, I win a piece, don't I? Don't I just win a piece? He was counting on my queen. It looked like a good tactic, right? Looked like a good fork. He was counting on that. But I can move the knight with check and taking a piece. So I didn't have to move the queen. Now I have to move the queen. So let's just go here, I guess. And then I just need to make sure I have a place to move the knight to at some point. Can go back here. Anyway, let's get rid of this rook here. It's annoyed me long enough. That's my next step. Ghost King. I think I've got Ghost King in my sights here. Yeah, that's gone now. Okay, defending there. What I really want to do is put the bishop here and put the knight here. If he gives me time for this reorganization, we'll see. If he kicks the knight right away, I might have to move back here. Okay, so this works. The queen needs to defend this pawn. Probably has to go here to g2 because here it's pinned and I can just take. Oh no, it's not really a pin because the bishop was on it. It is pinned, but the bishop would take the knight. Let's see, so here, oh, Well, I could threaten to check here and just get rid of the queen. Okay, so let's bring the knight around. Okay, we will. I see. He's angling to utilize this attack over here. Mm-hmm. I just put my queen on the line with his king. Just want to make the king feel uncomfortable. And I won by timeout. Let's go to the analysis board and see if that was a win. A win-win. It looks like a win. Yeah, +5, +6. That's a win. So what's the best way to play this? Bishop here, maybe. Bishop here. Oh, there's a fork. There's a fork of the queen and the rook. If he takes here, I just take back with check. Check and eventually take the queen. Yeah, and this is just an extra piece and an extra pawn. So looks good. Looks good.